Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since we went out. The government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto. Guys, today we got a great show lined up for you. I am super excited because today we are going to be talking about, well, actually, I'm super excited for the show, but I'm not super excited for a lot of these people who might be about to lose their job at Twitter. If you guys are not familiar, somehow you don't know what's going on. Elon Musk bought Twitter to the tune of $44 billion, and there were rumors circulating when he bought Twitter that 75% of the workforce would be laid off, and now it's looking like that number might have been in the right ballpark. According to some reports, as many as 3,700 people could be about to lose their job at the blue bird itself, Twitter. And there are vice presidents and managers and directors running all over the place in Twitter, being told to compile lists of headcount that can be reduced in a mass layoff of Twitter staff. Twitter staff ballooned to 8,200 people earlier this year, and then a lot of those people, to the tune of almost 700 of them, left when Elon Musk started looking like he was in fact going to take over Twitter because they didn't want anything to do with it. And Elon has posted some hilarious tweets. We are on Elon tweet watch right now. This feels like the 2016 election when everybody was on Trump tweet watch. That's what this channel feels like it is right now. But look, guys, it is the most entertaining thing going on. And Elon Musk said it best himself in a tweet not too long ago. Let me go ahead and pull it up right here. He said, Twitter is quite simply the most interesting place on the internet. He said it right down here. That's why you're looking at it. Twitter is quite simply the most interesting place on the internet. That's why you're reading this tweet right now. You're right. I can't argue with this. I also can't argue with a lot of this other stuff, which is just, yeah, we're going to get into all of this in a little bit. But Elon is, I don't always agree with the guy, but he's a giant troll, and I respect that. Like I said, look, I don't want a blanket statement. I don't want a blanket slate just act like he's the greatest guy in the world, because he's not. But he is very funny, and I think he is going to do some great things for Twitter. In other news, as you guys know, at 2 o'clock yesterday, the 75 basis point rate hike that we'd been expecting dropped, and so did Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently trading, if we go ahead and jump on over to the chart, at $20,100 ever since about 2 o'clock yesterday, when we were testing below this uptrending level of support that we were looking at here. Bitcoin dropped substantially, dropping about $400 to $500 in the span of just a couple of hours, especially after Jerome Powell came out with his speech. And so Bitcoin has now broken bearish out of this ascending triangle pattern, as we thought it would. And we're going to be discussing what this ascending triangle pattern, what a few of the things that happened yesterday mean for Bitcoin, and also what the updates coming out from Twitter mean for Bitcoin as well. So we've got a lot to talk about today, a show to dive on into. And without much further ado, guys, you haven't heard me say this in a while. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Boom. Love it. Guys, also, I have a special something for you at the end of the stream. I accidentally already gave you a sneak peek, so that was not intentional. But for any of you guys here who were here before stream, I think you caught the first couple of seconds of something that I want to share with you. So let me just tee this up, and then I'm going to read green names and make sure everybody's introduced and welcomed. Party in Backyard, who is a music producer, extremely talented music producer, dropped a super chat in the live stream about 8 and 9 months ago, saying that he would love to work with me sometime. So I started to send him a message yesterday, and no, not yesterday. I think it was Monday, and I didn't actually send the message. He ended up sending me a message. We've been talking ever since, and he took the video that I put up on Christmas Day last year on Twitter of me rapping NF, and he took that video and he compiled a mix behind it. And I told you guys yesterday I'd probably show it to you today, so I'm going to show it to you today, and I'm probably going to be rosy in the cheeks because it's going to be interesting. And by the way, if you don't know who Party in Backyard is, he's the guy that produces music for the likes of PewDiePie. He works with Rumi, and he works with a lot of other massive content creators with millions and millions and millions of subscribers. His videos, his songs have over 1 billion views across the internet. Several of them on PewDiePie's channel have over 100 million views individually, so be looking out for that. Let's go ahead and read some chat, though, guys. I will show you that towards the end of the stream. Good reason to stay tuned, because it seems like you guys really want to hear that. I asked you yesterday if you wanted to hear it, and it sounds like that is what you would like to do. Paul Zimmer was first, said, "Morning, y'all." Mike Lowry was right after him, saying, "Morning." Let me just go ahead and check over here and make sure I'm not missing anything. I might not be getting all of the things here. Nope, Paul Zimmer was the very first one. So shout out to you, Paul. Grand Roofing Incorporated is here. Jeremy Shorter is here. Mike Lowry again. Gia S. Win Peoples. We got all of our green names in chat. If you guys want a green name, hit that join button down below and join as a member. We really appreciate all of you tuning in. The Classic IT guy is in chat. Crypto JMP in chat. Mitch Shaw. Brad Geidel. Brad Geidel said, "GM, good morning, everybody. Government Motors, everybody. Happy Thursday. On the road again. I'll be creeping today." There you go, Brad. Well, glad to hear that you are tuning in. Jeremy Shorter again said, "Route equals woot. Tried using my voice text." Oh, apparently. Okay, so he was correcting himself from earlier, or a voice to text from earlier. Gia S in chat. Tyler Main in chat. I have the Beholder in chat. Let's see. We got Matt C, Veronica Gainey, Flair Staking. We got all of our favorite people in here. Crypto Smitty. We got Colin McDonald. Shout out to you, Colin. We got CW. Pat Doyle said, "Am I a green name?" I don't see a green name, but I'll give you a shout out anyway. How you doing? Let's see. Crypto Red Fox also in chat said, "Good morning, family. I'm 5 minutes late, but Jeff is reading the names." I am. Jeff is indeed reading the names. Love seeing all of you guys tune in. Who else am I seeing here? I feel like I'm missing someone. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Am I missing someone? I said Jeremy Shorter. We got Crypto Vet's not in chat, but he might be later, so shout out to him. Guys, we got a great show lined up for you. If you're looking forward to today's show, just go ahead and hit that like button. Just go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me to know that you like the content here, and I really appreciate all of you tuning in. CW said, "Bring on the mix. Can't wait to hear it." I don't know, guys. If it goes well, and if you guys like it, then I might upload it as an individual video. Some of you guys have been saying that I should do that. So just let me know if you would like the mix to hear it. That's the beginning. That's all I'm giving you for right now. That's just like the first half a second. I will show you towards the end of the video. It's about a minute long. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into a market watch over here and jump on to CoinMarketCap. Crypto... Khalil said, "Where is the join button?" It's right below the video. So I'll go ahead and jump. I'll show you on YouTube where it is, and then we'll jump on over to CoinMarketCap here. Give me just 1 second here. You can see right down here. The join button is right there. And Crypto Georgie said, "I am new here. I've watched Jebb a few times from banter from then and became a fan, but not attending all the shows." Well, shout out to you. Thank you for showing up and being here today. We're going to go ahead and look at Bitcoin. As you can see, Bitcoin trading at $20,144, down 1.27% in just the last 24 hours. That is indicative of a drop that we believe has occurred because of the Federal Reserve coming out with their rate hike. So if we go over here, and I have it right here, I already have a bookmark, CME Group, and its predictor. The next FOMC meeting, Federal Open Market Committee meeting, is in 41 days, 3 hours, 51 minutes, and 45 seconds. And people are split. Are we going to see 50 basis point rate hike? Are we going to see 75 basis point rate hike? Well, if we look at the historical over here, you can see that, well, this data is kind of difficult to read, but ultimately what I'm trying to show you here is that you can see data is, this is probability, but you can see that we weren't really too sure what exactly was going to happen, but last month we were pretty confident towards the end here. You can see right here that we were going to see that we were looking at 50-50 for the next rate. And November the 2nd, you can see here, we were all but certain that we were going to see a 75 basis point rate hike occur. Here, the probability of there being a 50 basis point rate hike was pretty much gone. It was almost certainly going to be 75. So if you don't know what this website is, I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I just think it's helpful. CMEgroup.com/markets/interest-rates/CME. You can read. You've been on the internet for a while if you're watching this video. So the next meeting, though, everybody's asking the question, question. Are they going to start their pivot? Are they going to drop in at 50 basis points? Or are we going to see 75 basis points? Well, I don't really think we have enough data just yet to determine that, but we're going to come back to that. Let's continue on here with Ethereum and the cryptocurrency markets. So remember, guys, we're going to talk about Elon today. We're going to talk about crypto today. We're going to talk about the Fed today. We got a lot to talk about. So if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get up to 200 likes here in the next couple of minutes. Really, really appreciate all of you guys and what you are doing. Good deal. Ethereum trading at $1,535, down 1%, 1.19% in the last 24 hours, also down about 1% in the last 7 days. We've got the stable coins being relatively stable as they should be. Binance up 1.5%. And if we look over here at Bitcoin, we can see that while it was in a symmetrical triangle pattern that was predicting a break to the upside, and it was expected to move up to $22,000 based on the technicals, this is why we have to make sure that we are following the fundamentals as well. Because if you'll remember, the Federal Reserve came out with their rate hike yesterday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Well, let's go back on the chart here and see when exactly that transpired. 2 p.m. Eastern yesterday would have been, what? It would have been 1,400 hours, which would have been right here. So you can see at 2 p.m. Eastern yesterday, we actually saw the market jump for about 30 minutes, and then when Jerome Powell came out with his speech at 2:30, the market ended up dropping 3.48% in the last 57 minutes. He definitely seemed to be pretty hawkish. He realizes that they're trying to get inflation under control. And so the market dropped quite substantially from there. Right now, the good news is we're setting a double bottom. This is pretty encouraging for the bulls. Setting that double bottom does encourage the idea that the bottom could be in for Bitcoin. The tricky thing is that doesn't necessarily line up with what we're seeing over on things such as what we were just looking at, which would be the CME futures prediction for CME Group interest rate prediction for the next effective federal funds rate, because there's still a 50-50 chance that it's 75 basis points. And frankly, when we see CPI data come out, which CPI data drop November, I'm almost certain it's the 10th, but when that comes out on the 10th, yeah, so November 10th, when that comes out at 8:30 a.m. November the 10th, if it's anything above 8%, you can pretty much expect this number to jump to 90% likelihood of a 75 basis point rate hike. And so let me just we're going to go through kind of a bit of a recap here of what we talked about yesterday, and that is quite simply that the United States government right now has a couple of major geopolitical factors that it's battling. In fact, mainly 3 real ones. 2 of them are obvious, 1 of them not so much. First of all, and the most obvious, is that the United States is trying to position itself in a way that it is well positioned against the aggressor, which is Russia, in the Russo-Ukrainian war, whatever people are going to end up naming that in the history books. That war is a travesty, and it is horrible. And for once, it seems like the world can agree on something, and that is that Russia is in the wrong, and they are. Because there was a vote done at the UN, which doesn't do anything, but to condemn Russia, and there was like 4 nations that didn't condemn Russia. It was crazy. And I think one of them was Iran. I think one of them was North Korea. Like, these are rogue nations anyway. The point is, the United States is trying to position itself economically, militarily, socially, relationally in NATO in such a way that it has a massive, massive, massive amount of... Wow, I'm a noob. Thank you very much for spamming chat. See, that's a time where you need to spam chat. Thank you. I am back. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Really appreciate that. What I was saying, we turned into a podcast there for a second. What I was saying is that the United States is trying to position itself in such a way that it is set up for the future so that it is able to ensure that it is able to face off against Russia. Because right now, essentially what the United States is doing, make no mistake, is a form of an economical proxy war. We're essentially seeing an economic proxy war between Russia and NATO, even though they're not at war. NATO is supplying Ukraine so the Ukraine can go on and beat Russia, right? Well, one of the ways the United States can weaken Russia and strengthen Ukraine at the same time is by having an extremely strong dollar to push Russia into a corner, because its currency has been faring surprisingly well through all of this. The United States, and we're going to tie all this back into Bitcoin and the Federal Reserve. Sorry about that, guys. The the way this ties all back into it is that the United States needs a strong dollar to be able to fight on that economical stage. It's not fighting a shooting war. It's fighting almost a form of a mini Cold War, where we're battling with currencies, where we're battling with economics, where we're battling with markets, where we're battling with who can buy the most weapons. That's what we're seeing going on over there. So number one, the United States wants a strong dollar for that purpose. Number two, this decade is the make or break decade for China. And again, I ran through all this yesterday. I'm just doing a very quick rehash. This decade is a make or break decade for China. China is undergoing several major problems. Three of the biggest are, number one, a demographical problem. They have a lot of old people and they have very few young people because of the one-child policy that was implemented for so many years. So their demographical pyramid is upside down. They've got a ton of people up here that are getting too old to work and they need the support of the state and of their family. And then you're getting less and less people that are young and spry and able to go out and drive the economy. So they are running into a huge demographical problem that's going to come to a boiling point here in about 10 years. They're also dealing with a housing crisis. Their housing market is a complete mess. I don't have time to get into that, but it's a complete disaster. And then they've also got a desertification and a water problem. They've pretty much used up the entirety of the Mekong River and the Mekong Delta, which several nations, Thailand being one of them, uses and Vietnam uses. They are getting almost no water because China's using all of it and they still aren't getting enough to feed their hungry cities, their thirsty cities, I guess you could say. Beijing is basically turning into a desert as the deserts creep south. So they're running into huge problems that they don't really have an answer for. So they're trying to bust out, and that's why they're looking at Taiwan. The United States realizes that they've got an issue in Europe, and they also realize that they have an issue in the Pacific. And here in 5 days, when the midterms go through, we're going to really have a much better understanding of whether or not the United States is going to continue to support Ukraine, which, by the way, if we don't, that's not a good thing. You do not want Russia winning that war. It's a very bad idea if they do. Those are two of the reasons why the United States wants to maintain an extremely strong dollar. And the third reason is because we are trying to keep ourselves positioned with Europe. Europe and the United States, since the Cold War, have started to fracture and go in different directions from each other, ideologically, economically, geopolitically, and there have been fracturing of the alliance in a lot of ways around social issues. Amongst other things. And so the United States also wants to maintain its strong dollar so that it can continue to be the leader of the free world in such a way that you don't see a Bank of England or the ECB or the Bank of Canada come up and start taking away power from the US dollar. That's what the United States doesn't want. Those are the reasons, in my opinion, three of the biggest reasons why you're looking on a geopolitical stage for a strong dollar. There are also internal reasons. The Fed wants to see inflation come down as much as possible before the 2024 presidential election. If Biden and the Democrats can get inflation under control and back down to target 2% by the time that they all come up for election, not this midterm, but the next presidential election in 2024, that's going to be much better for them to get reelected. So there's a ton of different reasons why the Fed is extremely hawkish on the dollar right now, trying to get that inflation massively under control. And ultimately, that's a good thing because inflation doesn't do anybody any favors. So the pain that we're going through now, and this is something that I forgot who it was. I think it was a chief analyst, or no, it was a C-suite executive at JP Morgan said, and the kind of person who would know what they're talking about, and he's from Argentina, so he grew up with 100, 200, 300, 400% inflation year over year. You got to get inflation under control. So it's not actually necessarily a bad thing that the Fed is hammering inflation as hard as it can. It just means that we're going to have a difficult next 12 months as they get that under control. Why do I bring all this up? Why do I keep talking about inflation? Well, now that we know that we have 75 basis points, a lot of people argue that was baked in. I think for the most part, that probably was baked in. What we're looking at now is that 75 basis points is not baked in for the December 14th meeting. That meeting very possibly could be 50. There's a lot of uncertainty, and you even see it over here on CME Group, their predictor tool here. It's 52 to 48. People don't really know. This is a poll from economists, I believe, is where they get this data from. It just went up a little bit on the 50 basis point rate hike. They don't really know exactly what the Fed's going to do. But the point is that the Fed needs to get that inflation under control for all of those reasons. So here's my prediction. I always say things are going to be short, and then they're not. That's why I had to teach myself how to talk so quickly, because I've got a lot in here that I need to get out to you. Got a lot of information here. If you're enjoying today's information, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. We've already got 780 people watching. Thank you guys so very much for that. Thomas Post in chat, also Crypto Mini Bike in chat. Thank you guys. So, point I'm making here. Fed is trying to get inflation under control so that it can battle all of those different factors. China, Russia, Europe, and the elections coming up in 2024. Many reasons why they want to get inflation under control. Not least of which being that they want to maintain world reserve currency status and they don't want to give an inch to anybody like China. November 10th, we have CPI data dropping. We saw 8.27, then 8.2% 2 months in a row. So we saw basically no change in inflation. I don't know if you've noticed. Gas prices are hugely up in our area. They're almost $4 again. And we're also looking at, on the flip side, we're looking at housing prices starting to slump a little bit. So there's a little bit of balancing taking place here in the last month since we saw the CPI data come out. But if CPI is anything above 8%, I can pretty much guarantee you. I can't guarantee you because I don't know. But I can say with a lot of confidence that we're going to see a fifth 75 basis point rate hike. And so how does that all tie into Bitcoin? Because ultimately that's what you're here for, right? We talk about geopolitics, we talk about the Fed, we talk about major markets, we talk about investing, we interview people that are not necessarily involved in crypto, but ultimately it all ties back into crypto in some way, right? And a lot of times it ties back into TA because that's really the core of what I do. How does all this tie back into Bitcoin and the TA? Well, here's the deal. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the chart. Bitcoin is looking for a setup. It is looking. It's like a little hunter-seeker missile. It's like a little shark that's going after a little drop of blood in water, and it's trying any way that it can to sneak its way through and rally to the upside. It's trying. It really is. There's so many bulls that want Bitcoin to go to the upside, but it just doesn't have the strength because it doesn't have the confidence, and there's just not an open path yet. And that's the tricky thing, is that what paths it does have seem to keep closing. A path that it would have to go to the upside would have been a 50 basis point rate hike. Nah, didn't happen. One path that it could take to go to the upside is a sub 8% inflation data coming out to indicate that we're going to see inflation start coming down. That's possible because we're getting to the point where we're dropping off 1 year ago's data, and we've seen a lot of this inflation be took place right at about a year ago, but that's probably not going to be enough if it only drops down to 7.95. That's probably not going to be enough to catapult Bitcoin to the upside. What Bitcoin really needs to see is a few different things. It needs to see, number one, it needs to see inflation coming down so that the Fed will start tapering interest rates. And by the way, I've already told you this, but I'll tell you again what I think is going to happen. I'm predicting a little bit more hawkish than Kevin O'Leary did in our interview on Tuesday. By the way, that'll be coming out the 11th, so make sure to stay tuned for that. He thinks that they're going to peak out at around 4.75 to 5%. I think it might be closer to 5.25, 5.5, because I think next month they're likely going to have 75 basis points again. Then I think they're going to have 50 basis points, which would put us at a target that put us at a target 5.2. Then we'll probably see another quarter basis point that'll put us at 5.5, and then I think we'll plateau right around there, and that will come in with CPI data coming down. Hopefully, when we get to about 5.5, which would be March of next year, that'd be when we peak out. Then we would see inflation coming down to around 6-7%, and then those two would meet and they come down together. The idea that the Fed has is that you raise interest rates, like, let me see if I can do this in some way. You raise interest rates as the inflation's coming down, and then they meet, and then they come back down together. That's kind of what they're trying to do here. They want to raise interest rates, hit inflation in the head, and then they come down together. So if inflation starts to pivot, number one, that is an early warning sign, an early sign, one of the earliest signs you're going to get that the Fed will stop being so hawkish on their interest rates, and that pivot will start to happen. And it could be 50 basis points this coming month. I don't think so, based on the current state of things. I think they have fuel to do another 75 and just get it under control as fast as they can, make sure that they have all that power in mind to get that inflation back under control before those elections come up. Because remember, inflation is a 12-month average. So you need 12 months of data being still for a while to get that to calm down. They also... on the other hand, a couple of other big things that are coming up for Bitcoin is regulation. There are some key bills, and I don't have time to get into it today, but there are some key bills that are in the United States congressional system right now that have to do with stablecoin regulation and have to do with basically just regulatory clarity as a whole. A lot of different things. Regulatory clarity as a whole in taxes, accounting, compliance, regulation, etc., for cryptocurrency that would allow trillions of dollars to flow into crypto. So those three things really some big factors coming into whether or not Bitcoin is going to be able to have a massive jump in the next little while. I think you are going to see a massive jump on Bitcoin, but at this point, I think it's going to be a few months from now. I think that you're going to see Bitcoin range down here below $22,000 to $25,000 for several months until you see the Fed either plateau or start to pivot. You see the war in Ukraine end, or you see some major legislation come through that allows for the Stablecoin Transparency Act, for example. You haven't heard that in a while. That's still working its way around. if you look at some of those big pieces of legislation come out, big landmark cryptocurrency legislation, those are some other things that could pivot Bitcoin back to the upside. Just remember, by the way, here's another thing. I've been telling you about the fact that Ukraine has a huge impact on the on what we're seeing happen here. Well, just remember, when the war in Ukraine started, which was, if I remember right, was February 20th, the market dropped quite substantially in the build-up, and then we knew it was coming. So in the build-up and then the actual first day of the invasion, and then we rallied a little bit, and we've been dropping ever since. That has put a huge, for lack of a more polite term, damper on the global economy. And, that's horrible. I'd rather the global economy be down and people not be getting, anyway, in Ukraine. But I'm just telling you that is a big factor. So those are just some things I'm thinking about. I think that the Federal Reserve hiking rates is ultimately a good thing. It is a necessary thing to put the economy back into check from all the damage that we did to it back in 2020 when we shut down the economy. It's a multi-year process to reverse inflation, and that's what we're fighting right now. I think in 12 months you'll see inflation back down below 5%. I think in 2 years, you're going to see, by the time the next midterms come, I think with how hawkish they're being, you'll see inflation hopefully back down to 3%, maybe 4%, maybe even lower. That's so long, that we don't start printing money again because, oh no, we have another pandemic, or oh no, we have another this, that, or the other, or oh no, we have another reason that we just need to borrow from the future to pay for the present. You can see how much damage the money printing that took place in 2020 did and is still doing. Like I told you a year ago, and I've been vindicated on this, when you print that much money and when you inject that much capital and liquidity into the economy, it takes time for that inflation to go through the supply chain. Impacts to the raw iron ore mining sector takes time for that iron ore to get on a train, go and sit in a stockyard somewhere, for it to be refined into steel, for that steel to be sent to another intermediary where they break it down into smaller subcomponents, where it gets sent to Toyota to build a car, and then that car sits in a stockyard in a lot for 4 months before it gets on a ship and comes over to the United States from Toyota, the city of Toyota in Japan, because they have their own city. That's really cool, huh? For it to come over here, and then it gets sold. So just the supply chain of going from raw resources to brand new car can take 2 years. The inflation at the beginning of that supply chain takes all of that time to get through the supply chain. And that's one of the things that we're seeing right now, is that damage that was done to the first part of the supply chain 2 years ago is now catching up to final product. Not all products take that long. Some products are a lot simpler. A coffee mug doesn't take that long, but the more complex the product is, the longer it takes for the entire supply chain to run its course. I don't think it's very common that you see a supply chain other than like building a ship or a building or something takes more than 2 years. But in general, it can take 6 months to 12 months to 24 months for all of that to work its way through. And that's what we're seeing. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and read chat here, and then we are going to talk about none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the millionaire, billionaire, maybe soon to be trillionaire Elon Musk himself, and what he is doing over at Twitter. But first, grab your coffee with me and let's cheers. Boom, coffee and crypto. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Man, I love coffee. Love it so much. I love coffee. And by the way, just remember, I told you guys at the beginning of this, the same producer that makes PewDiePie's music and I are in contact, and he is apparently a huge fan of the channel. Party in Backyard. If you don't know who he is, he's got several 100,000 subs on YouTube, makes a bunch of really cool videos over there, and he is wanting to produce a song with me. So he took one of the times that I rapped That's a Joke by NF and mixed it as a sample, and told him that I would show you guys. So interested in showing you guys that. Dad said, Jebb, you seem to have a wealth of knowledge about world policy, etc., beyond your age and beyond reading a few articles for this stream. Were you a history major? You make a good teacher without crypto. I was not a history major, but I was a history nerd. I've studied the Second World War extensively. I've studied Roman history extensively. I've studied the medieval era, not as extensively, but to a certain degree. I've studied, the thing is, the Second World War set up our current geopolitical stage, even 70 years on. So if you understand what happened during the Second World War, and you also understand parts of the Cold War, you actually have a pretty solid foundation for understanding what's going on right now in geopolitics. Why do you think Russia wants to invade Ukraine? Because they used to have Ukraine during the Soviet Union, which grew post-Second World War. So if you understand the Second World War, you understand a lot about military doctrine, a lot about military tactics, and the like. I was also an astrophysics nerd, so from 6th grade to 11th grade, I wanted to go into astrophysics, and I wanted to get a PhD and a doctorate in that. But I realized I love to learn, but I don't like the schooling system. I love to learn, but I don't like being educated, if you know what I mean. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with having mentors and teachers and being a disciple. That is very important. Jesus makes that clear. He says, go and make disciples of all nations. We in the church a lot of times have misconstrued that of, oh, go preach the gospel around the world. Yes, that's the point. But the real point Jesus was making there in the Great Commission at the end of the Gospels was go and make disciples. That was the point. And then the modifier to that statement was of all nations. We put all the emphasis on of all nations, and we're going all over the world, which is great. There are unreached people groups that need to hear the gospel. But the real point he was making was go and make disciples. He had 12 disciples under him that he was pouring into directly. Being educated, mentored, and taught is incredibly important. We know that from the Gospels because, you know, the Bible is the Holy Spirit breathed inerrant word of God. But the current United States education system and public school system certainly isn't. So I love to learn, but unfortunately, a lot of times people love to learn and then they get into public school and they start loving something else because they just get it wrecked out of them. That's why we want to homeschool. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to read chat here for a couple of minutes. Let's see. Love the show, dude. Glad to see you back on screen. I love being here, guys. I love being here. Let's see. NATO and EU stabbed Russia in the back. For God's sakes, we blew up Nord Stream. I would really love to know who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. I would not be surprised at all. I know this isn't crypto related, and it'd be kind of hard for me to tie it back into crypto. But I would honestly, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. Really, only a handful of people around the world probably do know. But I actually think that it was probably Putin himself. And I'll tell you why. I bet Putin did it. And I bet the reason that he did that was because he knew that pipeline was never going to get used in the first place because Germany already said they weren't going to buy gas from them. And then if somebody tried to come in and take his position and stage a coup against him, then they could have used that pipeline to build a wealth of knowledge, to build wealth in Russia and solidify them. So I think he did. I think it's possible that he did. I don't know. Again, I have no idea. No idea. Could have been us. Who knows? Let's see. Let's see. Crypto Mini Bike said, my daughter just got into a charter school. They're absolutely amazing. Yeah. Let's see here. We are going to read some more chat, and then we're going to talk about Elon Musk. You guys know we got to talk about Elon. We got to have our Elon watch time. Dude's a mad lad. Don't agree with him on everything, but he's definitely very, very, very powerful guy. Let's see. All right. Alrighty, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into talking about Elon himself. But before we do, I do just want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, who is none other than BitGet. If you guys are not familiar with BitGet, you need to get familiar with them, and you can do so by going to bitget.com/English because BitGet has some amazing functionality. Right over here, you can buy cryptocurrency. Right here, for example, you can go ahead and deposit your cryptocurrency onto the exchange so that you can do things on the exchange because, of course, you need to do that if you're going to work on the exchange. You can also buy crypto with one click. You can come over there and do that right there. Then you can also come in here and do peer-to-peer trading with zero fee. That's really, really, really helpful for anybody who is trying to buy crypto from other peers. This is a very helpful feature for a number of reasons. Then you've also got your futures over here. You got USDT futures, USDC futures, you got your CoinM futures, and you've got all of these others here that you can see. You got Matic, Solana, Dogecoin, DOT. I almost said Trix. Trix are for kids. We're talking about Tron. That's for adults. We got APT over here, ETH, Bitcoin. Then we got our markets over here. You can see the markets showing right here. Bitcoin, ETH, APT, XRP over USDC, all of these. You got a ton of volume over here. I mean, you got $4.5 billion in 24-hour volume on Bitcoin. We're not talking about a small exchange here, guys. This is one of the power players in the space nowadays. And then you've also got your copy trading over here. Love their copy trading functionalities. You can see over here that some of these people are making a ton of money. If you go over here to ROI, sort by ROI, some of these traders that people are following are making 1,500% in their ROI, making some incredible trades. And all the people that are following them are able to make money right alongside them. So make sure you check out BitGet with the link in the description box down below. The first 100 users will get $10 in USDT as a sign-up bonus. Boom. Let's go ahead and talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of the most powerful people in the entire world right now. In fact, you could argue he is the most powerful entrepreneur in the entire world right now. And one of the reasons for that is because he is ridiculously good at building massive companies. That doesn't mean that he's ridiculously good in other areas of his life. I'm not going to sit here and bash the guy, knock the guy, not trying to attack the guy. That's not what I'm going to do here. That's not how we roll. But I do just want you to know, I don't think he's perfect. But with that said, I do think that he's a very talented entrepreneur. And so we're going to go ahead and just catch you up on what he's been talking about on his Twitter. I told you about this yesterday. It was really funny. He updated his location on Twitter to hell. So, oof. And he changed his Twitter handle to Twitter Complaint Hotline Operator and changed this to his logo. If you didn't see this, I think it's pretty hilarious. We just got to go run through his tweets. I mean, we literally have to read all of his tweets right now because there's so many things going on here since the last stream. First and foremost, he tweeted after the stream yesterday, "You get what you pay for." Fair enough, Elon. And we have another tweet up here to talk about the magical 8. The magical 8, as Michael Saylor called it. Everybody's talking about 8 speech over on Twitter right now. And that's what they're discussing, is that Elon Musk making blue check marks cost $8 a month. He also said this: being attacked by both right and left simultaneously is a good sign. Interesting point. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of his point, is that he's trying to walk down the middle, and he's trying to, at least in theory, I think the way he sees it. I don't know if this is true, but at least the way he sees it is that he seems to want to walk down the middle of the aisle and not, lean too far in one direction or the other, but also call out nonsense. And he's calling out a lot of it right now. He also said, Twitter is simply the most interesting place on the internet. That's why you're reading this tweet right now. You're right, Elon. That is true. 18 hours ago, he posted this. This really is how people treat social media. We've gotten so spoiled by using these platforms for free. For free. We don't pay anything most of the time for YouTube, Facebook, and the like. But I'm not going to lie. I would totally pay $8 for that cup of coffee right there. That looks delicious, and I could totally go for some of that right now. That coffee from Starbucks looks amazing. And by the way, people are sleeping on Dunkin'. Dunkin's got some great coffee also. The pumpkin stuff, it's great. But people over here freaking out about $8 a month for the Twitter verification. I don't think it makes any sense. He said this, $8 a month for Twitter verification, so much for free speech. You can still use Twitter for free just without the benefits. And they're like, how dare you? Not even going to touch this one, but you can read it yourself. This was pretty funny. AOC was complaining, apparently. Over here, you can see Eric Voorhees said this. And Eric is actually one of the founders of Shapeshift. So Eric, I don't know what Twitter just did there. Eric is a big name in crypto. And this is actually one of the reasons I wanted to talk about Elon today, is that Elon's been retweeting a bunch of crypto dudes here over the last 24 hours. Eric Voorhees, towards peace, market, and Bitcoin, founder of Shapeshift.com, open source platform, github.com/Shapeshift. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. And he just got retweeted by Mr. Musk himself, and he said this: let's remember that at Elon Musk charging $8 for premium Twitter experience means Twitter becomes the product again instead of you. And if $8 is too much, you're free to remain as the product. I could not have said it better myself. Elon Musk agreed. He posted bullseye. Bingo. People are using Twitter for free, and if you ever use a product for free, it normally means that you are the product, or that you are the way that the company is making money is that they are advertising to you. And advertising is not intrinsically a bad thing. Advertising is a necessity for a free market capitalistic economy. But ultimately, if you don't want advertising, then you need to pay. Those are the only two major ways that a company can generate revenue, is through advertising to you and making money off of you. That's how TV has always been free. Normally, I mean, you got to pay for cable, but ultimately a lot of times it's free. Or you have to pay for the product, period. Plain and simple. That's how it goes. And a lot of people are entitled and don't understand that. And they don't want to, they don't want they don't want Twitter to act in a capitalistic manner when, just remember, Twitter turned a profit 2 of the 13 years it's been in existence because they didn't want to follow a capitalistic model either. Elon Musk also said a neuron doesn't realize it's a neuron because it consists of billions of bidirectional interactions per day. Twitter can be thought of as a collective cybernetic intelligence with a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, in a way, that's kind of true. That's kind of true. And also up here, he said this: advertisers should support freedom of speech or political correctness. 78.7% of people said freedom of speech. The advertisers don't have the gall, I'll say. They don't have the gall to go out and just post a tweet like that because they know that they would get so much backlash from people. But Elon Musk already is Twitter chief complaint hotline operator, so he doesn't care. So he posted that. And by the way, if you think that's a small sample size, that's 2.5 million people that voted on that. You don't get polls like that anywhere. Anywhere. I run a business. I know these things. I know how to poll people and run all the different tests that you run to poll people and see what they think of your product. You never get 2.5 million responses. Ever. Never happens. Elon Musk is proving to the advertisers, guys, you want to bet on this platform going in the direction of freedom of speech rather than in the direction of political correctness, because you're going to run into a huge problem of nobody wants to be on the platform that you're advertising to, and your ad dollars are going to be worth nothing. If he can make the advertisers realize that and realize that they need to stop playing in the political game and they need to play in the car game or the phone game or the coffee mug game, whatever it is they sell, unless they're a commentator or a public figure, but not a company. If he can convince them of that, that would change our society in a huge way, massive way. And it would really line up with a lot of what we're talking about in cryptocurrency, because we talk about cryptocurrency. Why? Because we don't want one person, one collective, one mass of people ruling everything. We want people to have decentralized autonomy so that they are able to decide for themselves what is best for themselves and their family. It's called individuality. It's what democratic free market capitalism is based on. And it's intrinsic to the human experience. Full stop. And social media platforms and a lot of the world wants to stomp on that right now. And Elon Musk realizes that that sends society in a very bad direction that we have tried before, and every time it's failed. Every time. And so as far as what Elon's doing, I think he could end up making $200 billion from Twitter in the next 5 years from turning it around. There is a huge monetary incentive there. He did say that he's not doing it for the money, but if he does what he's talking about doing, it's very possible he can make a lot of money. At the end of the day, whether he does that for the money or not, what he's doing, if he pulls it off in the way he's talking about not genuinely not supporting the left, not supporting the right, just supporting an open platform that's unbiased, if he can actually pull that off, because there's a lot of people that say they're unbiased and they're not. I'm not unbiased. I have opinions, and I'm not afraid of them, but I'm not a platform. If he can genuinely pull that off, it will change social media forever, and Twitter, especially if they relaunch Vine, which is looking pretty likely, that would change the game forever. I mean, it really would. It would completely change social media as we know it, and the political commentary as we know it forever. So those are some of my thoughts on Elon. Love to hear what you guys think about that. We're going to go ahead and keep reading chat here, and then we're also going to keep reading some articles. I have another article here about that 3,700 people figure that I have in the title there. So really appreciate all of you tuning in. Really appreciate all of you tuning in. Thanks for explaining to me what that meant, because it wasn't clear to me. I'm not sure which part you're talking about, but you're very welcome, my friend. I'll pay $8 the way the bots know I'm verified. Exactly. That's the point. People are going to pay $8 to make sure that they don't get thought of as a bot. Can you recommend a good book to catch up on Roman and medieval history? Not too familiar with the books on the matter. I learned everything that I know on YouTube, basically. Look up Historia Civilis. He makes a lot of videos on Roman history that I always loved. Let's see. Let's see. You can still use it for free. Exactly. You can still use it for free. It's still a free service. Let's see. Let us see. I wonder how many will leave Twitter and go Blue Sky later. Probably some. I think some will. Let's see. What else can we do? So, guys, tell me in chat if you guys would like to see that. Drop a 1 in chat if you'd like to see that track that he made. Let's see. What else do we have here? Cool. I think I've caught up on most of the chat. I love reading what you guys have to say. Just wanted to say love you, brother. Thank you, Reckless Robbie 363. Watched only YouTube vids of Roman history. I've watched a lot of it. Hey, I don't claim to be a Roman history buff or historian. I find it interesting. Fall of Civilizations on YouTube is excellent. I'm familiar with that channel, yeah. Good to have you back, Crypto Jebb. I am glad to be here. I am really excited to be here. All right. Well, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this article over here that talks about the people getting cut from Twitter. We can go ahead and show you this here. Report Elon Musk set to fire roughly half of Twitter's workers. Elon Musk is set to cut about 3,700 jobs at Twitter, representing about half of the company's staff, according to Bloomberg News. The push to slash costs comes about a week after the Tesla CEO took control of the social media company following completion of his $44 billion purchase of Twitter. Musk immediately fired Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, the company's chief financial officer and top lawyer, while other members of the company's leadership team have also left. Twitter didn't immediately respond to requests for comment about the reported job cuts. I'd never understand why this is in articles like, yeah, okay, great, you reached out. This is basically just a bragging saying like, hey, well, we tried to talk to them, but they didn't want to talk to us. Yeah, I wonder why. Musk overpaid for Twitter by about $20 billion, according to the Wedbush analyst Dan Ives, who told CBS Watch Money that he believed that that would force the billionaire to cut between 30 and 50% of the company's employees. In the most recent quarter, Twitter lost $270 million in revenues as it slipped as advertising growth slowed. So, yeah, look, here's the deal. Elon Musk at least seems to think that there's way too many people that are way too many people that are at Twitter. And so it's his job. He is able to go ahead and reduce that. All right, well, let's go ahead and read some super chats. We had a super chat earlier. I need to go back and find it, and then I will show you guys this video. Oh, no, it disappeared. Somebody donated $5 earlier, and I missed it. I didn't get a chance to actually show it. I, the Beholder, a member for 15 months, said, yo, where's the Beard and Smaynard? So if you saw Smay's Christian's video, they've decided to kind of go and do their own thing, so they're going to be moving on. Just want to clear up any questions that you guys have. I have not fired anyone. I've actually, in my entire career, never fired a single person. But yeah, as far as that's concerned, T-Shroom, Smay, and Tim have decided to go ahead and move on, do their own thing. So that's that. Let's see. Let's read some more chat. You can tell Elon Musk had been planning this for a while. Absolutely. Definitely has been teasing this for a while. I want to hear the white boy rap. Goodness. Queen said FinSov. Absolutely. If you guys don't know what FinSov is, financial sovereignty is the concept of making sure that we have total control over, as much control as we can over our own personal finances, so that we are able to ensure that somebody else doesn't use those financial systems against ourselves. It's a very important concept and one that we talk about quite extensively here on the channel. Let's go ahead and jump onto the chart, do a little bit of TA before we jump into that video that was produced for me, and we'll take a look at the chart first. One of the things I want to do over here is give you guys a look at something called Chart Prime, and that would be one of the indicators that I'm using right now and I'm testing out. You can see that it has a lot of really cool functionalities. In fact, let me just go down here and grab the oscillator as well. You can see Chart Prime has some really incredible features, such as the market oracle right here that has this band right here. For example, this red band, it kind of tells you that the market's in a downtrend, whereas this green shows that you're kind of in this sort of uptrend. It also has this box down here that shows you the correlation on Bitcoin between things like the Dixie, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the DJI, and it's also got this oscillator down here, which helps you to understand whether the market is in an uptrend and it's bottomed out and gotten oversold, or if it's starting to get too high and it ended up rallying to the upside. So if you guys have not already checked out Chart Prime, you definitely should. You can use the code Jebb to get 20% off at checkout with the link in the description box down below there for them. But one of the things I want to show you here on the chart that I want to show you here with the chart would be Bitcoin bottoming out right now, and that would be the price action analysis where, in fact, Chart Prime will help us with this. You can see Chart Prime has set up all these lines right here are drawn automatically by Chart Prime itself. You can see it's set up several different levels to pay attention to here on the market, such as these levels right down here, where the market has come back down to historically, setting new lower bottoms at these levels, and these levels are likely going to hold as the floor for the market. And if the market is able to continue back to the upside, then it will likely be because these two levels held. But the tricky thing is that if we look at the market right now, we have a lot of forces pushing us to the downside. Like, for example, if we look at Lux Algo is under a sell signal and has been ever since right here, and that sell signal was confirmed by Trend Catcher, pushing us to the downside. Now, we talked about the Neo Cloud yesterday, how we were kind of trading sideways through it. We needed to decide whether we were going to go above it or below it. At the moment, we are below the Neo Cloud, also on Lux Algo. If we bring this up, bring up the EQ Cloud and our reversal zones, we can also see that, this will take just a second to update as it's catching up. You can also see that the EQ cloud flipped bearish right here, giving us another confirmation of downward momentum. And we're seeing the market continually push down here into the top part of the bottom band. Now, Lux Algo is saying that we may have already gone through a lot of this movement because we had a sell signal up here that was confirmed pretty much immediately. And since then, the market has dropped, currently is down 2%, dropped at its extreme about 3.5%. But it seems that it may have already gotten down here into this territory where the market is bottomed out down here in the take profit zone. So that's what that looks like right now. So guys, just make sure you keep a close eye on Bitcoin over the next 24 hours and on into the weekend, because Bitcoin essentially just broke bearish below that uptrending level of support and then reestablished this. So we're basically in a sideways movement, and we need to see if the market is going to bounce and start rallying back up here to 2100, 21,000, where it can start to test that resistance and break through, or if we're going to fall back to the downside down below 20K. If we start falling below 20K, then that means that you would probably see Bitcoin dropping down to $18,000 to $19,000 at its bottom. But let's go ahead and go back to full screen. Let's see here. Love you, Jebb. Shout out from San Juan Islands. Shout out. Eric Brubaker said, how's Sarah's morning sickness? Thank you for asking, Eric. She's doing a little bit better than earlier in the pregnancy, but not a whole lot. She's sitting here behind the camera kind of laughing. She's still struggling as far as, I mean, it's difficult. It's hard. Pregnancy is hitting her pretty hard. So thank you for asking, but yeah. Jojo said, hashtag FinSov. Absolutely. Hashtag FinSov. Bitcoin mining update. I don't know of any updates right now, but I think both of those companies that we talked about have been in a very tricky situation. Jebb, if you're really interested in what's happening around the world, you should check out the show Redacted on YouTube. Interesting. Interesting. I'm sure those 3,700 will get good jobs elsewhere due to skill shortages. More than likely. So tell us, guys, would you like to see this video? This video? I need to see a bunch of ones in chat if you want to see this. I really want to see some ones in chat if you want to see this. It's going to be pretty funny. I will go ahead and pull up while it plays. I will go ahead and pull up the person who created this' YouTube channel, and I will show you what this is. By the way, this was a video that was shot in my car on my phone. And yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit nervous to show you this. Drop a 1 in chat if you want to hear this. If you want to hear this mix that he put together. Let's see. Crypto Vet dropped a 1. Gia S, Jack W, Cameron A, Hattersmith, Hattersman H. Man, I'm nervous. This is crazy. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years, and I'm still getting nervous. Golly. That just means I love the game. It means I just love this. Let's see. All right. Well, it looks like you guys want to hear it. So, all right. Here goes nothing. Gonna put this over here and go.
Took a minute now, I'm at the better end of all of it. Today I wanna quit, I'll be a bit, I wanna swallow. Cause I'm in it when I said I wasn't really into audibles. I guess you gotta call them when your odds are with the bottom. And the second up against you, it's a pity, but they gotta give it not to me. I'm running with the best, I've been the kind of make a profit of everything you told me was impossible. So why would you continue with the narrative and not admit them? I'm popping off, but I prevail. How you gonna skip over the details and tell me to be focused? Hold that. Don't tell me you mean well if you don't mean well. I call the shots, but don't need my handheld. When it comes to making records, well, you know does that better. The way I connect letters, you think that the alphabet was made by me. When it comes to storytelling, I'm great at it. Tune in and get tuned out. My face got redder cause I'm embarrassed for the ones unaware of my work. What did I stutter? Known to be cordial. But those that think that never seen something incredible. Look of a general, hit him with the end of a shovel. They wanna forget it. I put them on the ground and I get up and open up the pit of my stomach to remind them again I'm a whole different animal. Whatever the case, I'ma get it. I'm in and out. I'll give it everything. If I got it, but not if the comments are pushing me to run with the comment. The joke is deciding to took away the dummies of bias. You know that I am insane. Improved a lot, but I still feel it's hard to keep my lip. My delivery gets better every time I spit. I don't carry my sword though. Tell me why would I do that? Doesn't make sense when you're in a game this cutthroat. If you wanna maintain control, then you gotta keep up. If you can't handle the workload, somebody else will. How could you call me unskilled? That's like looking at Mount Everest and then calling it a small hill. Not at all thrill, I mean all. Still try not to laugh, but it just kinda spills out sometimes. I'll be right and chill. Just chew on this till the record's built, okay?
Tell me what you think. Yep, so that was Party in Backyard put that together from a video that I shot about a year ago. Really interested to read chat on that one. Oh, man. Yeah, you guys think it... Apparently you guys like it. So he wants to make a full video with that. So let a full song with me. So tell me what you think. Would you like to have a full song? And also tell me if you'd like me to upload that as its own video. Dude, chat is going insane right now. Golly. Yeah, I know. It was really well put together. Let's see. Oh, man. That was good, dude. Yeah, like I said, that was a video that the original audio was a video that I shot on my phone and put up on Christmas Day over on our Twitter. So you can go check out the original video that he pulled that from. So yeah, he took that, mixed it a little bit, and he would love to. He wants to make that its own song. So let me know if you want. Let me ask in chat. Should I make a song with Party in Backyard? Tell me what you think. Should I do it? He wants to make a song. Oh, man. Call out Eminem. I don't know. Do it, get it after. Absolutely rap about Bitcoin, your faith, and all good things. Yeah, that's the thing. If I were to do that, you know, one of our core value here, we have 6 core values. One of our core values is humility, and it's something that I fall short of every day, but it's something that I really feel like I've fallen short of. But it's one of the things that in the rap community, a lot of times it can be very prideful. Even in the Christian rap community, I love a lot of the Christian rap. It can still be pretty prideful, and that's not really something that I'd want to do. I'd want to do something talking about crypto, maybe, but talking about my faith, and yeah, so tell me. We got 88 votes, 94% said I should make a song with him. Tell me what you think. Let me know. And by the way, if you guys don't know who Party in Backyard is, he's the guy that made all the music for PewDiePie. So he's that guy. So go follow him on Twitter. Somehow I've got more followers than him on Twitter. I looked at his Twitter. I'm like, okay, this dude's going to have like 3 million followers. And somehow he's only got like 23,000 followers, 28,000 followers on Twitter. You guys got to go follow him and tell him that I sent you. Go follow him, tell him I sent you, and then, you know, he's very talented. So you guys seem to really like it. I guess I'll have to talk to him some more. So tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I ought to go ahead and post that. Use it as your intro. Oh, man. All right, we got a super chat here. Might have to not read some of this just out of you know, covering people. But so I just got caught up on what happened since I've been out of the state on a hunt with little to no service. Wow is all I can say. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, just keep in mind, guys, there's there's always, first of all, there's always two sides to every story, and second of all, the vast majority of a story normally doesn't come out. So just let's keep things peaceful and kind and nice and everything. But thank you for the donation. Thank you very much. Takes your mind away from crypto, which can give you a better life balance. Go for it, Jebb. I am thinking about it. If you guys don't know who PewDiePie is, he is the largest YouTuber on the platform, individual YouTuber. And Jebb, the Lord knows your heart. I know, but you know, my heart's not always where it should be. So sometimes the Lord knows that I need to straighten up my heart too. Let's see. Redacted is a good channel. Make sure the lyrics are clean. I didn't catch all the words. Yeah, no, absolutely. Wouldn't be doing any of that. Use our platform for Messiah. Amen. Post it. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to post it. I guess I will post it. So tell me what you guys think. Really appreciate all of you tuning in. We got 167 votes. 90% of people say I should make a song with him. I love to sing. I love singing. And I actually really love country music. So he thought, you know, I want to learn how to play guitar. He thought you should learn how to play guitar, play some chords, and write a song. And yeah, just telling him about where I stand on some things. Really great conversation I had with him over in DMs on Twitter. Love the song. Good job. Second career for you. Well, I don't know about a second career, but dude, don't think, do it. Thank you guys for the love. I was honestly really embarrassed. I thought everybody was going to hear that and say, bro, you suck. That was lame. What are you doing? The newsboys. Yeah, boom. If the economy continues to tank under current administration, you might want to look into being an auctioneer. All right, guys. Post it, please, Martine Siebel said. By the way, shout out to Martine, and Colin. I'll teach you guitar. Thank you, Andy. I would love to learn guitar. There's so much stuff to do right now that I don't think I'm going to be... If I do make a song with Party, it'll probably take several months for it to come out because I'd want to make a video with it also. Will you return to your Sunday inspirational videos? Those were my favorites. Probably. Yeah, most likely those will come back at some point. Right now, there's just so much stuff going on that it's been difficult. But yeah, 88% of people said I should post. 88% of people said I should make a song with them. So just let me know. Anyway, guys, make sure you check out our sponsors for today, which would be BitGet and Sharp Prime, with the link in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for Grand Roofing. You missed a few super chats. I did miss a super chat. There was a $5 super chat earlier. You know what? I'll give it another 90 seconds before I wrap out the stream, just in case the person that did that super chat can tell me. And if you guys see it and I miss it, point them out and say, hey, this is the guy. Pump up the likes. Jebb has been here since 2017. If you were here, you would know he is the only one teaching TA. Not the only one. There's some other people. Rafael Anwar, my question never gets his attention. I would love to answer your question. I didn't see a question. The only questions I can see... Oh, here you go. Jebb, can't the Fed increase capital requirements for banks to slow inflation? There's a lot of things that they can do to slow inflation. And frankly, there's a lot of things that they can do to slow inflation that they don't do, and there's a lot of things that they could do to prevent inflation that they also don't do. So the Fed doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me in a lot of the ways that it does its business. Grand Roofing said it was me. Oh, well, there you go. What'd you say, Grand? I'm sorry. There was a $5 donation. I didn't get to see it, so let me know what it was. And I will sit here and have some of my coffee while I wait. Just joining. When did you say the Kevin O'Leary interview would go up? That will go up on the 11th, November 11th. 11/11, Veterans Day. We're not going to be doing a stream on that day. And also, don't forget that we will be gone from the 18th to the 28th, I think is what it is, the week before Christmas and the 3 days following Christmas the next week. So we won't be streaming during those days because myself and Sarah will be spending time together as our family with our son, and our other couple of employees will be spending time with their families. And I would encourage you to do the same because money's great, but spending time with your family is more important, especially during that season. Grand actually said, was wondering if Kevin O'Leary got that special good morning. There was also another one that you missed from someone else. Got that special good morning. I don't know what you mean by he got that special good morning. I'm not too sure what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. If you can clarify for me, I'll try and answer that, though. I think you can love your channel even if we do not share all the same views on religion. You help me understand a ton. Our morals are similar. Glad I found you. Cheers. God bless you, Greg. Love that. Will you go all in on Coffee Coin? I don't know what that is, but I I love coffee, for sure. Like I said, going to give it just a couple more minutes so I can try and do my best to answer any super chats that I missed, if you guys can repost them. Let's see. I gave you a super chat that morning. You announced it and said, tell him Graham Roofing said good morning. No. No. No, I feel terrible. I forgot to tell him. Oh, man. Okay, well, I have his assistant. Okay, I think I have his assistant. Greg has his assistant. I will have to... Dang it, I'm so sorry, man. I did say that. Yeah, I'll try to get in touch with his assistant and do that. I don't have a direct line to Kevin O'Leary. We have a direct line with Kathy Wood now. By the way, there should be a Kathy Wood collaboration coming up at some point in the future. I'm so sorry, man. I feel terrible now. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, guys, if you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Please forgive me for not saying that to Kevin. I didn't intentionally not tell him that. I forgot to tell him that, and I am very sorry for that. You're fine. I'm actually cracking up right now. Yeah, I know you're cracking up, but I feel horrible. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because I probably will post that video as its own thing. I actually got fast-tracked to the second round of Shark Tank. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for today's video. But before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.